Namo Buddhaya. Are you feeling lonely? That emptiness, that sense that nobody cares? What if I told you that loneliness could actually be your greatest opportunity for personal growth? Today, let's uncover how to turn the pain of loneliness into the peaceful state of solitude, using timeless Buddhist wisdom. Loneliness is a universal experience, and for many of us it comes when we least expect it. Whether it's after a breakup, losing a loved one, or simply when the friends who were once close drift away, suddenly we're left with a void. This void, often filled with sadness or even despair, can feel unbearable. But why do we feel lonely in the first place? The answer lies in how we relate to others. We often tie our happiness to the presence of others, depending on them for joy, support, and validation. When they're gone, we lose the very source of our happiness. We hand over the keys to our emotional well-being, and when people walk away, it feels like we're locked out of our own sense of fulfillment. However, what if I told you that loneliness isn't an enemy? What if it could be a friend, offering you a precious gift, the gift of time to reconnect with yourself? To understand how loneliness can transform into something positive, let's first draw a distinction between two states: loneliness and solitude. While loneliness brings with it the longing for someone else to fill our emotional cup, solitude is the art of filling that cup on our own. In Buddhist practice, solitude is cherished as a time for deep reflection and inner growth. Instead of waiting for external sources of happiness, those who practice solitude focus on cultivating happiness from within. The Buddha often spoke about the importance of solitude, particularly for monks on the path to enlightenment. He taught that being alone isn't inherently negative. In fact, solitude can help you discover deeper truths about yourself and the world around you. When you aren't distracted by external relationships or societal pressures, you have the space to explore your mind, meditate, and develop wisdom. Let's explore an example from the life of Buddha himself. Before achieving enlightenment, the Buddha, then known as the Bodhisattva, practiced extreme forms of self-discipline and meditation. For 6 long years, he pursued rigorous physical hardships, believing that these efforts would lead him to enlightenment. During this time, he was accompanied by 5 disciples, who admired his dedication. But when the Buddha realized that extreme self-mortification wasn't the path to enlightenment, he decided to nourish his body, breaking his fast and eating food to regain physical strength. His disciples, disillusioned by this change, abandoned him, convinced he had forsaken the path to enlightenment. Alone in the jungle, without the support of his followers, the Buddha could have easily felt lonely, despondent, and lost. But instead, he embraced this solitude. Rather than feeling abandoned, the Buddha saw this period of being alone as an opportunity. With no distractions, he could focus fully on his meditation. It was in this moment of solitude, freed from the expectations of others, that the Buddha found the clarity he needed to attain enlightenment. Most of us aren't striving for enlightenment like the Buddha, but his story offers a powerful lesson. When we are alone, we have a unique opportunity to focus on self-development. Instead of feeling abandoned or helpless, we can turn inward and ask ourselves what we need to grow. When you are lonely, ask yourself, how can I use this time to better myself? Can I develop a new habit? Cultivate a new skill? Meditate? Read books that inspire me? Exercise? In these moments, solitude becomes a gift. It offers you the time and space to reflect on your own life, desires, and goals. This is the heart of Buddhist teachings. learning to find peace and happiness within yourself, regardless of external circumstances. One of the most transformative practices you can engage in during moments of loneliness is meditation. Meditation allows you to go inward, confront your feelings of loneliness, and understand them. Through regular practice, you can develop a sense of peace that isn't dependent on others. In solitude, your mind has the opportunity to quiet down. You're no longer bombarded with distractions, conversations, or the expectations of others. Instead, you can listen to your own inner wisdom. Through meditation, you begin to realize that happiness isn't something you seek from others. It's something you cultivate within yourself. Let me share a personal example. A few years ago, I went through a phase of deep loneliness. After the end of a long relationship, I found myself feeling empty and lost. The house felt too quiet. The friends I once relied on seemed distant. In that silence, the loneliness was overwhelming. But rather than wallow in self-pity, I decided to use that time to focus on myself. I began practicing meditation daily, going on long walks and reflecting on what I wanted from life. In that solitude, I discovered strengths I never knew I had. It was during this time that I made some of the most important decisions of my life. Decisions that wouldn't have been possible if I had remained distracted by social engagements or relationships. Practical steps to turn loneliness into solitude. If you find yourself feeling lonely, here are some practical steps to transform that feeling into productive solitude. Meditate daily. Start with just 10 minutes a day. Focus on your breath, observe your thoughts, and let them pass without judgment. Engage in self-care. Use this time to nourish your body and mind, whether it's through exercise, healthy eating, or simply taking care of your mental health. Self-care is essential. Create a routine. Establishing a daily routine can give you a sense of purpose. This could include hobbies, creative projects, or personal goals. Reflect on your goals. Use solitude to think deeply about what you want to achieve in life. Write down your goals and create a plan to work toward them. In the end, loneliness doesn't have to be a source of pain. Instead, it can be the very thing that leads you to greater self-awareness, wisdom, and inner peace. By embracing solitude, you gain the freedom to grow into the person you are meant to be, without relying on others to make you happy. Remember, solitude isn't about isolation. It's about reconnecting with yourself, finding joy in your own company, and discovering that everything you need is already within you. So, the next time you feel lonely, remember, this is your opportunity. Use it wisely, embrace it fully, and in doing so, you will transform your life in ways you never thought possible. Lesson to take away. Loneliness may feel like a burden, but it can be transformed into a powerful tool for self-growth. Through solitude, you find your true self and realize that happiness comes from within, not from others.